I'm working in a cabin on the side of a hill in Tennessee, side of a mountain, getting a lot of stuff done. Stopped here on the way in from Greenville, been working on all kinds of good things. We live on YouTube, Morgan?
We are live.
Okay, cool. Well, welcome everybody on YouTube. Welcome on the DAC Zoom page. Today's weekly leadership for the people who are leading, building a team. I wanted to go through a couple slides with you quickly, but I wanted to give you some updates first. Pretty excited about some improvements we're making to the recruiting pages and frankly to the customer acquisition pages and to the learning management software. All of it's coming. We're pushing it all forward at the same time. And I'm really excited to see the progress we're making just in the last few days. Been able to dedicate some real time to it. We've been building a lot behind the scenes, systems, etc. And so I'm pretty pumped up about what you're going to have at your disposal very soon. And what it's going to do is it's going to help you in your team building because it's going to do a more effective job at training agents system wide using the systemly. I don't know if that's a word or not, but systematically, there you go. So it's going to be the system will help onboard your people so that it'll help sort for you. And we've always said, hey, recruit the right people because otherwise you'll waste a lot of time with people and maybe they'll watch training, maybe they won't. We don't even know if they'll open their welcome letter, right? Well, the system we're launching they'll be required to go through training before they're even an agent, right? So they'll be able to start the sign up process, but they won't be an agent ready to make full commission, et cetera, until they go through the training. And it may only be, a half hour to 45 minutes long. It may not be that long because it may be an hour total. But the long and short of it is they're going to be committed enough to have watched that. And so you'll be able to just throw all kinds of leads at your funnel. We see Carl with a K on, and Carl his first couple weeks got a couple fundings. Carl was recruited through an Alignable ad. He doesn't even know his enroller, has never talked to his enroller. At least he hadn't as of a week ago. His enroller's gotten commissions and has never supported really him, but he ran an ad to get someone started. Now, fortunately, Carl's a self-starter. So, I've recruited hundreds of people that I've tried to support that just don't do anything, right? And then I've recruited a bunch who've done amazingly well. The good news is when we have the system built where corporate says, okay, we're going to require people go through a compliance channel and make sure that they understand what they're doing before they get after doing it. Now we don't care if you put 50,000 people in the funnel, right? Now we don't care if you run ads and recruit 500 people because the reality is those 500 will whittle down and we'll have 50 of the right ones. And those 50 of the right ones are going to blow out some numbers and they'll go recruit 500 each. And it's also, you got 2,500 people coming into the system and the system through the funnel system will be effective at bringing the agents up to the right speed that we want them at. Right now, we hope that the enroller is doing that. We hope that the upline leader is doing that. We hope that the agent's self-starter enough. But because of that hope being, the results of that not being real well, I mean, we're doing extremely well as a company, but we're not scaling the way I'd like to scale for the amount of people that are joining. So by doing this, we believe we can then personally, I don't mind recruiting 100 people a week then because I'll know that what comes out the bottom of that 100 people going through the process is the process will help shuffle the deck and find out how many aces there are. Right. I won't have to spend a lot of time doing that. I'll let the system do that, much like any funnel system does in the world of ad sales, right? Now we're not using ads, but when this is built, literally you could run ads and you could put three in. I remember I ran a Craigslist ad my first couple months in business, never done it before, first couple months in DAC, and I had 370 people join DAC in 2 weeks. And I was like, whoa. And I couldn't support all 370. So I stopped running Craigslist ads. But now the type thing, once this goes live, man, you throw all kinds of people at it, you can. So with that as a mindset, we're also looking at different things we can do on the funding side, funnel wise, to answer the same type demands that a client would have. And we're leaning on some great marketing things, cold marketing techniques, frankly. If they were never referred by an affiliate, if they just stumbled on our site, how do we help move them along into filling out an application? So we believe we're improving the website as well for clients. And we're even considering a client webinar that we do once a week for clients where you'd invite people to that webinar, Zoominar, and those clients would be coming for something else. It would be an educational piece. We'd also tell them about our funding, but you would get credit for referring the person to that freebie, if you will. Some people call it a hook in the marketing world, but imagine if we have the 10 things of this or the 5 things of this that you can go tell every business owner you know about, that they would want to come watch it. And they would have to sign up at your replicated site for it. We now know you're the one who referred them. And of course, on there, we're educating them, but we're also showing them our funding. So it's part of a sales process, not just if you're ready to apply, go to our site. How about a sales process that gets them to see the value of applying and see the value of our applet and see the value of our funding for how they could use it in their business, even if they didn't think they could when they got there. That we educate them enough with our enthusiasm for what we're doing that we find the right people and we move them forward. So those are the things that we're working on right now. I'm excited about it. So with that in mind, I was talking to Wade. I said, I see the day 200 fundings a week in agents will not be a problem because you'll have thousands of agents. You'll have hundreds of agents. So to have 200 fundings a week will not be outrageous. And if you average just $100 each in funding, that's $1 million a year. That's $1 million a year, just having 200 people in your team with one funding a week at $20,000 funding. So, I mean, because you're going to be averaging about $100 override. It's spectacular what this means, because now we can scale growth in a freemium model. To generate more sales, you either have to charge more on your products, or for you as an agent to earn more in your business. I mean, your revenue is your commission, your revenue share with us, right? You get 40 to 80% of the revenue we get, you share with us. So your revenue is a share of our revenue. You get the highest share, but your business revenue then comes down to, okay, I need more fundings, or I need a bigger team with more fundings. And so by us improving the team growth system, and by us improving the client acquisition system, and us improving the training system, and all embedding it into one, baby, you just turn that gas pedal up. You just throw more in the cookie cutter and let the cookie cutter do the cutting. And then when you got aces coming out the other side, it's like, I remember when I was a kid, I had a card shuffling thing. My grandmother had it, and you just put all the decks in, you just rotated a thing, and it shuffled the cards. It's really neat. You just crank this thing, and you could put deck after deck after deck and just crank it, and it would shuffle it for you. Well, imagine the same type thing, but what it spits out is an agent who's a 7 out of 10, or an 8 out of 10, or a 9 out of 10, or a 10 out of 10. It's all face cards and aces, and all the other people just move off to the side. It's not for them right now. Maybe we drip on them over time, to maybe over time the timing will be right. But man, we shuffle through. Now it's just fill the funnel. So with that, I want to show you a couple things. Share my screen. Let's go to the slideshow right here. This is what I wanted to show you. Play. 200 a week is $1 million a year. 200 fundings a week is $1 million a year if you're making 100 in your team, in your whole organization. So if you can recruit thousands, and they can recruit thousands, and they can recruit thousands, heck, there'll be people running ads recruiting 50, 60 people a day, 50, 60 a week, 100 a week, 200 a week, whatever. If you just had 200 fundings a week at $20,000 with $100 override each, and we're making some tweaks to how you're paid so that would be the average. That's why I'm using that. Boom, you're making $1 million a year at 200. Now, the power of duplication and why recruiting is the key to massive growth. Most agents think customer acquisition is primary driver to success. And that's cool. That's true. But the real power is in building a massive team. McDonald's sells more ketchup than grocery stores because they've got hundreds of thousands of locations, or whatever it is. Right? They sell more Matchbox cars than Toys R Us. They used to. Toys R Us doesn't sell anything anymore. But when they launch a little toy, they would sell more than all the toy stores because of distribution. 200 fundings per week at an average of 20,000 each. It's $100 override. It's 20,000 a week. That's $1 million a year. 1 million a year. Even if you just had 100 fundings a week, 500,000 a year, 50 a week, 250,000 a year, 50 million, 50 a week, 20,000 each. This is renewals. This is everything. Bottom line is the bigger your team, the bigger the numbers. Now, you may need 10 times that number of agents, but who cares? Not every agent's going to be a producer. Some will fund a deal, some won't. That's okay. Our goal is to sort, not convince. So, how do we scale? We increase recruitment. 10 times more agents you recruit, 10 times more potential deals. More people equals more activity. More success stories equals more motivation. The DAC sort system will help you find the right people. That's what we're talking about, is once this puppy goes live, and I'm excited about getting it live, then you'll just throw more people at it. And it's okay when they say, don't just throw mud against the wall and see what sticks. When the system's built, you'll actually be able to put mud in and it'll sort for the gold on its own. It's pretty darn cool. Then you're working with the people who come out the other end. Now, you're not just going to throw, you're not going to mislead people, because then you'll have poor conversion. But leadership and team growth. So if you want to be the leader your team needs, for those who come out on the training side, they're ready to go. Leaders don't just hope for growth, they drive it. If you want your agency to grow, you need to be motivated and more than just an agent. You need to be a culture creator, an encourager, a momentum builder. Okay. So here's a couple things you can do. Be the culture creator, set the tone. Your team will reflect your energy, your belief, your attitude. If you're plugged in, taking action, guess what? They will be too. Show up to all these Zooms. Bring your team with you. Share success stories with your team. When we say any questions or comments, throw on a comment. Throw on something exciting. Hey, team, I just saw Joe Blow lock in another funding. This is all you have to do. Just continue to share. Number 2, 3-way calls or 3-way meetings, Zooms with people. Secret weapon. We talked about this last week. Most new agents lack the confidence at first. You can help bridge the gap. Now, our sorting training will find those who are most confident. But if you were to go out to everyone in your team who says, man, I want this, and you say, I'll help you call 10 people with you, guess what? They're going to call 10 business owners they know. If you hope, they may or they may not. So make sure you're there to help them launch their business. Teach them to do calls and help their team. Here's a 3-way call script. Hey, I'm working with the leaders, help tons of businesses secure funding. I'd love to get them on the phone with you. They can answer all your questions and help you out. So that's the client support. Same thing with business. Leaders don't leave new agents to figure it out alone. Number 3, open new markets, expand your reach. Don't you recognize that 20 years from today, when we're like Rocket Mortgage and every city's already got 50 superstar DAC agents in it, there's going to be a leader who brought it there. There's someone who opened that market. You want to find key agents in all key areas. You want to start marketing for that. We're looking for a leader to help lead and develop Nashville, Tennessee. We're looking for a leader to help lead and develop Greenville, South Carolina. We're looking for, you start saying this, you run ads in those markets. You run mini trainings and meetups for that market. It can all be done through Zoom. Challenge your team to identify 10 business owners in a new industry. Hold market-specific trainings like this. We're going to help funding roofing companies. We're going to focus on how to help roofing companies this week. We're going to focus on how to help landscape companies this week, because it's coming into spring and everyone's getting into the landscape. They're going to start fueling up their growth and hiring crews, right? The more markets you expand into, the bigger. Be an encourager. That's all most people need is encouragement. They're going to struggle sometimes with doubt, even consider quitting. Keep them moving forward. Check in on your team regularly. Celebrate progress, not just wins. Share the vision and possibility. Okay? Couple things, perspective management. Write that down. Perspective management. That's really the business you're in. Managing the perspective of all your teammates. Plug into our Zooms regularly and keep your team connected. We don't want anyone to feel like they're on an island. We do the Zoom same time every single day, so it's easy. You want to be on yourself, get your team to attend, host watch parties. If you can't be on at the scheduled time and you got a big group who can't because they're working full time, then maybe you schedule a Zoom watch party on Monday night at 8 o'clock to play through the Monday Zoom. And all you do is pull up, you start Zoom, but you share your screen and you play the YouTube on your screen. and y'all watch it together. Do different things to pull your team together. Final leadership mindset shift. Think like a business owner. You are one. We have a freemium model. That means we generate more sales by having thousands of more agents. You're not just an agent, you're an agency owner. Your job is not to do all the sales alone, but to build a sales force. The bigger the team, the bigger the impact. This isn't limited by what you do. It's about how many people you can help succeed, right? We say this over and over again. You got to lead boldly, encourage. I got to move my little mouse here. Encourage constantly and expand aggressively. Support relentlessly. I love that. Chat gave me that. I wrote in a lot of stuff and I get a couple little things. Who's ready to build the biggest DAC agency yet? That's what it really boils down to. And keep in mind, you get to just 200 a week, you're at $1 million a year. Hey, I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but I can tell you this. I know for a fact, I was telling Wade, I remember the months before I left a company, we had recruited 300,000 people in a few years because our system, and there was no online internet. It was all belly to belly conversations, and you couldn't make money for 4 months. You couldn't make money for 4 months. The most you could make was about 5 cents on a phone bill, but you could generate thousands of customers because you generated thousands of agents, and you could get to 10 grand a month residually by having 22,000 people in your team. Now, I'm not asking anyone to get 22,000 people. You have a few hundred deals a week, you're making $1 million a year. A few hundred deals a week in your team. Now, if you're going, well, it's just me alone, I get it. It was me alone when I started DAC. It was me alone when I started that last company that had 300,000 agents in it. They went on to be called Visalis, who then went on to merge with another company that's still in business today. When you got 300,000 people in your group already in a few years, it's not hard to succeed as an entity and keep moving on and on and on and on and on, right? And they're still in business today under a different name, doing almost $500 million a year in sales. So what we're building, it always starts with just you. Of course it starts with just you, but we've got a system, got a funding platform, 20 plus providers, one and quick application. All your clients can go to that. And we're going to be creating educational Zoominars for you to invite people to, whether they need funding now or not. It's a lot easier to reach out to 100 business owners and say, hey, by the way, we're doing our business funding company, we're doing an educational seminar Tuesday night called, would you like to attend? If so, click here to register. And then they come and we've got their agent ID captured. And now we're doing an educational webinar for them. Funding's fabulous. Lead with funding. But sometimes you'll lead with a capturing tool, educational tool to move them forward. So you got that funding platform, 20 plus providers. They should all know the best funder from those 20 plus providers, but we don't want them wasting their time finding out who they are, applying with them, wasting time uploading documents to 20 different places, hearing 20 different sales pitches, dealing with 20 different declines or approvals. They don't want any of that crap. Go into our platform. We save them time and aggravation, and save you time and aggravation. Imagine you had to go apply at all those 20 places for them. Someone applies with you and you're not with us. Now you better have 20 relationships. Actually, you need about 80 before you figure out who the right 20 are. And then you better know how to deal with all 80 of them or 20 of them, because you're going to be wasting time sending all kinds of packages to what? To make an extra percent or two? Right? Is it worth it? Heck no, it's not worth it. Your clients won't give you that much time. They won't give you that much time. So we got our funding platform out of the park. All we got to do is get apps going into it. 80% who meet our minimum requirements get an approval offer. About 70 to 80% of them accept the offer. That number is going to go up as we educate more on the type offer you're going to get and what the cost is. We're educating them more about that on videos on the front end, so that when they go through, they already know what they're getting. They already know why they should apply. They already know what they're going to get when they do get an approval offer and how they can put it to use. So that out of the park. Then the recruiting side, what we're looking to do on the recruiting to show people what they can earn, and we put them right into the training. We tell them flat out, if you are not dedicated enough to get trained in your craft, go be an anchor on some other company, not ours. We're looking for rocket fuel, not anchors. If you want to be rocket fuel and you want to go out and make some massive income and make a massive impact, and you're going to get yourself trained and you're going to be a professional, then we want you in our company. If not, go somewhere else. And so the right people are going to join, and they're going to go through training, and they're going to hear how they can't violate the TCPA, and they're going to hear they can't do certain things, but they're also going to hear what they can do and how to do it and how to rock and roll. And now you're going to get the right agents coming through. And then boom, you put those two things together. Come on. And then you have a backdoor team that's going out and helping, reaching out to the clients, telling them about payment processing. We might be able to help them with payment processing. So now you start getting a few of those customers to come over to the payment processing. This is what you call a game-changing business. We are on the verge. We're hitting that tipping point. It's almost all done. And then it's get on or get out the way. It doesn't matter if you've been here 6 years, 6 days, or 6 hours. If you get in the engine and you start rocking with the engine, there'll be people who start next month who grow faster and pass up people who've been here 3 years. And it'll be people because systems improve, and then you put all things that we're getting better and better, gooder and gooder. So that's what I'm excited about. Let's go to your questions or comments. Any questions or comments from anybody? I got 3 in the chat box. I have an event coming here in California. I'll be doing a fast start training. Yes, absolutely. You bet, Amoni. I love it. I love it. Sequoia, I agree. All right, Amoni. Play it. On YouTube, DAC agent page. That's where it is. All right. Any other questions or comments? Man, you guys are unmotivated. No one's excited like I am. No one got anything to say.
We have
Did
one.
You not just hear? You got to give feedback on the calls.
Harlequin is waiting to ask a question.
Okay, go ahead, Harlequin.
How are you today? Besides excited.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to recruit 500 people in the next 2 months, and I'm going to help the thousands I've already recruited make millions. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Love it. One, I love the idea of the client's weekly Zoom. I think that'll be phenomenal. A couple of questions on the agent side. Whenever they start filling things out and then they go to the training, are we going to be notified as soon as they start the initial application?
Yep. You'll be notified that they got into the LMS. You'll be notified when they complete the LMS.
Okay, fabulous. And then a side comment regarding ads, because I know you had mentioned Craigslist. One thing that we have discovered is if you put David Allen Capital or your link says David Allen Capital in there, they will immediately pull it. So a lot of the companies don't allow network marketing to advertise, but if you do it in other ways,
and we don't allow you to put our name either. So you can't, nobody can use David Allen Capital, Bank Breezy, any of our brand names in any advertising. You just advertising generically. And then of course they go to your Bank Breezy. They go to your David Allen Capital page.
Yeah. Well, if you put your David Allen Capital website, they will pull it off. So you have to have.
We'll figure that out. We'll deal with that later.
I'm just letting people know that.
Yeah, perfect. That may be city by city too, but we'll see.
Yeah. The other thing that I would love to see is if we can do some Zooms in the evening for agents.
You're welcome to. You're welcome to.
Well,
anytime. We'll do some as well, but
yeah,
I would hope the leaders in the field are doing their own Zooms with people as well.
Yeah.
You're welcome to.
Part of it is.
Yes, we will.
Okay. Yeah, because we have whenever the corporate Zooms are on in the evening, we have a whole lot higher attendance because especially if we're doing a lot of recruiting, a lot of people are going to have day jobs and they won't be able to be on live. So sometimes they like to ask you questions directly, David.
Yeah, I'm on 400 Zooms a month, so I'm sure I'm available, but I'll do some in the evenings too. I always will.
Okay. Thank you.
And we've done them before. Remember, we did a blitz and we did them, 3 times a week and had 30 people there. So
no, I'm not talking recruiting Zooms. I
understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
I appreciate the feedback. The bottom line is this, guys. all these things. We'll do everything we can do, but no one's going to make $1 million on here counting on just the AC. Everything I just showed was what you need to do as leaders with your teams on your own. You need to be doing your own three-way calls, your own Zooms, your own trainings, all that. We'll do our part. The system will get them in. But I would encourage you all, if you're not already doing your own Zooms, this week is the best week to start. Even if it's just you and one. You and one, start it. Start doing it, because people want to be leaders of something. And if they're always attending Ruts, if they're always attending David Ruts talking, they never get to have the microphone. They never get to lead anything. They're always watching someone else. Let them lead a group of 3 people. Let them have a Zoom with 4 people on it. That's a lot better than attending a Zoom with 40,000. Let them lead a team of 4 and watch what it does for them and their group. Those 4 attend me. And even if we have 20,000 on a Thursday night, they go, oh, that's cool. They got social proof, but they're not a leader yet. And until they take the leadership step and start leading, they're not going to go lead and open new markets. They're always a spectator and a dependent agent instead of a leader. So I'd rather you guys have 40 4-person Zooms than one with 280 on it. So, okay, cool. Wade's got his hand up. Go ahead, Wade.
He's on the line right now. I can see his video. So he's on the phone. So we'll have
All right, who we got? Alfred, is that right?
And we'll go back to Wade after if he's available.
Yeah, David.
How you doing, Alfred?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if it's me or you. I'm in the mountains, so
Okay.
you're breaking up.
So I got just a couple minutes late. So when is the new initiative launching? And I've been in and out of DAC for, I don't know, 8 years. So how do I make sure I'm up to date? I have the latest login. I have the latest training access, that I can access.
Well, I would log into your back office first of all, and if you can't, email support. You would have had to been renewing over time. Otherwise, you may need to rejoin because we do require people renew annually. But assuming you've done that, if not, email support at davidallencapital.com and they'll get you back rolling again. But the second thing is, when is all this launching? As soon as it's done. This is just a vision of what we're doing, what we're working on. It's actually what I'm doing right now. Why I didn't go back home after Greenville is to get some of this stuff done that I'm the author of. So I would say it's weeks away, not months.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep. And it'll always be improved as we get it. But what's launching is I'm pretty excited about. Wade, you available, or is he still on the phone? I can't see him. He's taking care of funding. So any other questions or comments from anybody before we bail out of here? Wade's not available. Okay. Well, then listen, everybody, I appreciate you all. God bless you all. Have a great, great day.